I want to talk about exactly why you're failing and exactly particularly why you keep failing in wholesaling real estate. And you were probably watching this wondering like, why can't you get ahead? Why are you not getting that first deal? Maybe you're in a rut. Maybe you're plateauing in wholesaling and you don't know why you just can't get it right. I had a particular conversation the other day with a certain individual that I've been trying to help for a while. And in the past 5-6 years on social media, talking about wholesaling real estate, right? I've done over 2,500 wholesaling real estate deals. I've made a lot of money. I've made a lot of men and women rich in this business. And I've always had this formula and always a way of getting people rich wholesaling. It's never a secret to me how I can or can't do that, right? And I have a particular case of somebody where they just can't get ahead. It's been over a year. And I just have a flat out conversation with them. It was kind of a painful conversation for this person too. But something I think I need to talk about today because I think it's going to hit somebody's heart. Now, this particular person told me that they just can't get ahead. They just, whatever they do, they just can't get a wholesaling deal. They can't focus. The ADHD, the ADD type thing, right? I'm not going to call it a petty excuse, but it's an issue. It's a problem, if you will, I think. And have you ever met somebody that like, they just can't ever catch a break? I hate those. Like, I'm allergic to those type of people. If you tell me you can't catch a break, I don't want to go near you because you choose to never catch a break. You choose why life is suffering for you. You choose that everything's bad. As a particular pet peeve of mine and something I always avoid when I see people in friends everywhere in life. If you're just this person that, it's always one thing, it's always something. These are people that never have the right outlook. And in life, when you have the bad outlook, the inputs are bad and the outputs are going to be bad, right? And you particularly fail yourself, right? And so this person they can't catch a break. They give me the quote, I've tried everything to get a wholesaling deal. I've tried everything, but I just can't get there. These are my favorite people. And so in a crowd of people, I say this and I say, okay, well, tell me, you love Baxter, right? Of course. Do you remember to feed Baxter today? Of course, I feed Baxter every day. I love him. I say, okay, why don't you ever forget to feed him? Oh, because I love him. And if he doesn't eat, then he cries. And I could never see him cry. And I'm like, okay. And eventually, if you don't feed him, what would happen? He's like, he would die. And I'm like, would that hurt you? He said, I'd be devastated. My world would be destroyed. I'm like, yeah, duh, right? And then I go and say, I'm like, okay, well, did you eat dinner tonight? He said, of course I ate dinner. I'm like, why didn't you forget to eat dinner? He said, well, if I forget to eat dinner, then I go hungry and that hurts. I'm like, oh, there's a hunger pain involved when you don't eat dinner. He's like, yeah, of course. And I say, okay. And then eventually go around and I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about your marketing for wholesaling. How many cold calls did you make last week? Man, I hate to tell you, Zach, but like, I couldn't make any cold calls. I just didn't have time. I just couldn't do it. And I'm like, well, that's kind of funny because you found time to feed the dog. You found time to feed yourself. You found time to go out here and drink some water. What's the difference between making sure that your dog is always fed and you're fed and your business isn't fed? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, the only reason why you're not successful right now in wholesaling is you are not putting enough of a prioritization on this business. He's like, no. You know, Zach, you don't get, I put an insane priority on this business. I'm like, you don't. And the point here is your wholesaling business is like that dog. It's like your stomach. Look at me, for example, okay? I ain't the skinniest little man in the world, right? I don't think I'm fat, but like I'm not the skinniest man in the world, right? And one thing I always do is I make sure I don't miss dinner. I like to eat. The thing is, I'm considered an extremely disciplined individual by many. And if you're somebody on the bigger side, I don't know, over, let's say 150 pounds for a guy, I don't know, right? And you like to eat. I like to eat, right? But I like to exercise, so it's all fun and games, right? But I like to eat, okay? If I'm very disciplined how I eat sometimes because I don't want to be big. I always say I'm a fat guy that works out, so I look normal. But I eat a lot of calories because I work out a lot, right? But like, the thing is, I am disciplined because I eat every day. I don't miss, right? And so when people used to say, when I cold call 5 hours a day, 5 days a week, everyone's like, dang, you're disciplined, Zach. You go out and you cold call 5 hours a day every single day. Well, apparently that makes me a gangster wholesaler, which it does. But if I go to a guy and I say, man, you always eat McDonald's every single night for dinner. You are disciplined. You look at the guy like, what? And the truth is, discipline, people's minds are so contorted with that word because everything's discipline's David Goggins doing things you don't like. And a lot of people have associated discipline with doing things you don't want to do. And what discipline really is just doing something no matter what and just being consistent with that discipline. That is what discipline is, okay? Discipline. It's simple, right? That is what discipline is. And I get a lot of people that get so confused with this, right? But discipline is just doing the same thing over and over again. And it makes you consistent. So when I say consistency is the key of cold calling, like if you cold call every day, like all the time, make it a habit, you're gonna do well. But if you consistently eat burgers every single day, you sound like a slob. But the same thing's discipline, right? If you play video games 2 hours every single night from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., you are disciplined. You play video games. You do not go a day without playing video games. You are disciplined. And a lot of people are like, well, no, I'm not disciplined. No, you're disciplined. You do it. Somebody's worst fear in the world is playing video games and you can do it, right? Some guy's addicted to working out. A lot of people think he's disciplined. He just does it because he likes it. Guys, why I am disciplined when it comes to flexing on broke wholesaling gurus. I don't do it because I have to. I do it because I need to. It's a hobby of mine. It's an enjoyment. And I get this all the time. It's like, Zach, you're so disciplined making videos every week. I'm like, I'm not disciplined. I have a great time doing it. I make a ton of money doing it, and I just have a blast. Discipline doesn't be doing something you hate. And a lot of people look at it like that. But the thing is, I have a priority on cold calling because when I do it, my business gets fed. My wholesaling business, my dreams is my puppy, okay? It's a really cute dog. I am not gonna look at my dog in the eye with the big eyes, oh, so cute, right? And say, I'm not feeding you today. F you, little middle finger, right? And let it wallow and starve to death in a corner, right? How mean would it be if I stuff a nice, juicy 16-ounce ribeye and eat it in front of my little puppy that's starving? That is mean, that is cruel, and you have no heart doing that. Some of y'all will go out here and go watch 2 hours of TikTok and not feed your puppy, which is your wholesaling dream. Your dream of changing your life. Your dream of putting everything that you have into this business so your family's changed, your kids' lives are changed. You can actually go out here and go travel, do whatever you want. Take care of your wife, your grandparents, whatever it is your parents retire them. But you all go out here and just say, oh man, I just can't catch a break. I'm like, if you'll feed your dog, you'll feed your business, you'll feed your life. That is it. And a lot of people out here tell me, oh man, it's easy for you. You're 20, you're 25, you're young, it's easy, you got no kids, you're not married. It's pretty easy for me because I have all this free time to go out here and just make more money and do well, right? That's pretty cool. I would argue to you, and I've said this on multiple occasions, knock on wood, basically, the day I start having kids would probably be the worst day possible to be a wholesaling real estate guru. Because if you think I have drive now, can you imagine I had extra motivation to work hard? Like I'm already a multimillionaire at 25. Like when you're a multimillionaire at 25 versus a multimillionaire at 80, it's so much different because those multi-millions just compound over time. Like if I stopped working, I think I would double my net worth every, 5, 6, 7 years, right? Depending on S&P 500 real estate, right? And so the thing is, I don't need to work anymore, right? So I'm fine. But just imagine I start to have kids and do you think Zach Ginn, would just be a retired lazy bones guy with a nice flannel Hawaiian shirt, just tell my kids, you should work hard while not working 40 years straight? No, I need to conquer. I need to go out here and change other people's lives to show my kids what it means to become a true man, true woman, whatever it is. You change people's lives and you help everyone for the best, right? And you run a pretty dang cool business. If you're 40 and you're telling, oh, I got kids, you don't understand. I'm like, the kids should be the motivation while you're doing it. And the problem is, I get that guy just telling he just can't catch a break, he can't do it. The thing is, it's all a priority. It's all a priority, okay? You choose what your priority is. You have to choose. Now, I'm going to say a very controversial statement. It's not really a nice thing to say probably, but it's something that has to be said. I don't care if people hate me for this, but I'm just going to tell you the dang truth here. I've never met, in the 5-6 years I've done this, millions of followers, all these things. I have not met one human being, man, woman, kid, whatever, that has put their complete, their all, their everything. They can put everything. When they put their head on the pillow to sleep at night, they know every night I did everything in my power to do what my dreams were meant to be. I did everything possible to get a wholesaling deal today. And they do that for a year straight and they didn't get a deal. I don't know one person that did that. It is crazy. But if you are a human being right now, I'm not the type of guy that says you can do anything you put your mind to. I think that's a crazy statement, right? Like you can literally fly. I'm not saying that, right? 99% of things though, I will tell you, if you put your complete all, and I'm not saying you put some or a lot, I'm talking about your complete all into one goal, it will be achieved. I don't know one person that has that specific goal in mind and they don't do it. Unless it's outside the realms of possibility with technology, but for most reasonable goals, it will happen and it can be done. And the thing about that is to reach that point, and it's very hard to find people that have reached that point. I'm someone that I believe I did. You have to become maniacal, like a maniac. You have to be delusional. You have to be outright obsessed with what you want to achieve. My goal, pretty clear since I was 17 was to make $100,000 wholesaling. And then quickly at 18, I was to become a millionaire. Got that at 20 years old, which is pretty cool. But so about 18 to 20 was probably the hardest I've ever worked in my entire life. And that was to become a millionaire, right? That's pretty dang cool. Hit that about 3 years, 2.5-ish, right? Pretty cool. Millionaire by 20. I was maniacal, delusional, obsessed. You couldn't reach me, okay? I was insane, absolutely insane. I put everything in, but I still spent 45 minutes a day working out. So technically I could have spent that cold calling. Oh no, I'm crazy, right? I still got a college degree I graduated at 19 years old, right? I still did things that I probably should put that in wholesaling, but I was already I already have traction, so I chose to have some free time doing that. But I put everything into it. I was obsessed. Before I went to bed, the last thought in my mind was how to find a deal. And the first thing when I woke up in the morning was finding a deal. And it's very bad to say, I guess. This is 18 to 20, so I could say this, right? I had no care in the world about hanging out with my friends. I still hang with my friends once a week, but the friends were in the rearview mirror, right? Going out here and be the craziest ladies man in the world wasn't the priority, right? Because I chose to prioritize what I wanted in my life. I said, let me just sacrifice this and I can basically do whatever I want, whenever I want, when I was 22, 21, 22, right? And the thing is, for most people, it's scary to hit that point. It's very weird. And I chose to be at that point. And it came to the point where when I look at someone like that, you have to say it makes no sense this person can't get a deal. And the point is, I'm not telling you to hit that point because that's a very unhealthy point. There's a lot of mental damage being done probably there. I'll be like Tony Soprano in therapy in 40 years maybe with this. But I'll tell you, I'd rather be Tony Soprano therapy at 40 as a multimillionaire than being broke and feeling chill, right? But why you're failing is because you're just not prioritizing enough. You're not putting the priority in your dreams. You're letting your dreams starve. You are not getting anywhere. So why couldn't you cold call today? You chose not to. We all have the same 16 hours in a day, right? I say 16, everyone says 24, 16, I'd say you sleep 8. I always think you should sleep 8 hours. We all have the same 16 hours. The fact that you chose to go out here and spend 2 hours with Julie for Mahjong or book club, That's a prioritization thing. If you have legit great friends, they'll support you on your journey. Oh, hey, like I know we love to chill, play video games. I'm free a couple hours on Friday. I have my dream and I'm going to do it. And I still want to hang out. Every weekend we watch the Dolphins game together. But like outside of that, like I have to work. I'm so sorry. Or like, hey babe, I know you want to go out here and we can go to Susie's bridal shower, but I really am working on my dream here. And I know we have date night every Friday night for a couple hours, but outside of that, I need to be working on my dream. I'm really sorry. I promise you this will reward us and our family in the future, but this is what I have to do. And as long as you have your own kids and you're like a bad neglected father, I don't think that's a problem. But one thing I'll tell everyone is it's not that you just can't catch a break. It's not that you're failing just because the world's against you. You're not failing because the wholesaling market is too saturated. You're failing for two primary reasons. And let's call it three. Number one, you have an education issue, which I don't think most people here, if you listen enough of me, you're not really having an education issue. But some people, they're just doing the wrong things. And so just go to freewholesaling.com, my free wholesaling course. I'll show you how to do it right. Number two, I think a lot of people just have the lack of networking. You don't know the right amount of people. You don't know enough people. If you know enough successful people, guys, you're listening on the Discord here, right? Like you're doing 99% of the work, right? I see people in the comment section, right? I see Ralph, I see Luca, I see some awesome people out here that I know doing deals. I know a ton of people in here that have done deals and they're continuing to do deals and they're doing great. So shout out to everyone in the comments here, right? I see Jason in here, right? I see some amazing people in the comments that I know doing deals, right? That constantly reach out to people and they build up their networking, right? And so it's not about doing it all yourself. If you know the right people, they will send you deals. That's Jillian in here, right? If you know enough people in the Discord, we have over 9,000, right? It's going to hit 10,000 soon, right? If you think about 10,000 wholesalers in a room, like you just got to find one person who can't sell a deal. You go out here, go into X Leads, dispo it out, and boom, you're good, right? You're Gucci. Or heck, just don't even buy X Leads, right? Go to Zillow, go to 4Rents, find a buyer, boom, connect it, make $5,000, right? Do you think one person at 10,000 can get you your first deal? It's not even close. The second part here is you just don't know enough people, or you don't know the right amount of people or have the networking. And then the problem with this, right, is, man, if you want to get in the right rooms, you have to pay $14,000 for my community. And the thing is, ZachDiscord.com, as you know, guys, watching this, right, it's free. It's free. You just have to get yourself out there. It's the perfect networking opportunity. That is it, all right? And lastly, is just a lack of volume. For example, you can be in the Discord, but if you don't let people know who you are, what you do, and what you're trying to do, like it's a lack of volume of DMs, a lack of letting people know who you are, what you're looking to do, right? It's a lack of that. But it's also a lack of volume in your calling, a lack of volume on your texting. It's a lack of volume on your talking to cash buyers if you have a deal, right? It's a lack of something. And mostly it's a lack of knowledge, a lack of networking, or the lack of volume. Most people, I'll say, get guilty of the lack of volume. It's all up to you. But the main reason you're failing here is because you're not prioritizing. Your discipline is on the wrong thing. Stay disciplined and just have fun wholesaling. Guys, like we're on a floating rock going 15,000 miles per hour, spinning around a sun, right? Like I think a lot of people take life too seriously. Like it is what you make it. And so, yeah, your mom or your dad might have these crazy expectations of you, right? A lot of people get that they get locked in those expectations what their family wants from them. They have expectations with their friends or all the like. Guys, just don't take the life too seriously. Life is so short, and life is truly what you make it. Take control of it. Don't live your life just trying to meet the expectations of somebody. All right, do it for yourself, and when your day comes and you're on your deathbed, you'll know you did everything possible to become successful. The worst feeling you can have is regret in life. And that is by far, bar none, the worst feeling out here when it comes to when you're older, right? I've talked to a lot of old people. It's regret. You didn't follow your own path. You did what other people's wanted. You just worked that job and you couldn't spend time with your family. That's the main regret you're going to have. You didn't travel enough. You didn't do the stuff that were fun, right? I think one of the saddest things I saw when I was in London and Paris, I was traveling, was I saw a lot of 82-year-old Americans. And if you ever talk to them, it's so funny because it's like their first time in Paris. It's their first time in London. They're like 80 and they're walking around and they can't walk too much, right? They have to get Ubers everywhere and they just can't really. And these people, they worked all the way till they're 65, saved up their money till they're 80, finally got on a plane to Europe for the first time. And now they're old, their back hurts, they can't see too well, they can't hear well. And now they're trying to live life. It's sad, right? If you decided to make a change, you could have done all that. You don't want to be traveling when you're 84, right? So my request for everyone watching this, what I'm begging for you is go all in. The work, the grind, the blood, sweat, and tears, the discipline is all worth it. I promise you. There's going to be a way more fun video game in 10 years to play. There's going to be I think it's kind of funny everyone chooses video games over wholesaling because it's like saying, oh man, I'd rather play, like an old video game. It's like, I'd rather play GTA 2 than wholesale houses. Then you look back, GTA 2, that's what you spend all your time on? That's a stupid game with bad pixels. So the thing is you choosing video games or old Instagram and social media, it's just it's terrible, right? Live the life of your dreams. Your bank account is going to mean a lot more in 10 years than what your friends think about you now and what social media is or what video games are hot right now. Go all in on yourself. Go all in on your dreams. Feed your dreams, feed your puppy, and you will stop failing and you'll start becoming successful. Consistency is everything you got to do to get deals.